Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to begin by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rocha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace, blessing to the sincere Akim, many the elect virgin pushing this truth on the four corners of the earth, giving all diligence to make the calling and election sure. This is the brother Kwana from the Great Millstone Camp, Trinidad, coming to do another educational lesson. Lord willing, be edified to the Lord's elect. And today's topic, we want to jump into the plagues of locusts in the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, all right, where it goes into the plagues of locusts, all right, which would have took place in the time of 1914 to the time of 1919, which would have been the First World War. All right, the Bible speaks about 3 wars, and we're going to dive into the first war, and Lord willing, the Spirit have me to do the second one, even onto the third one. All right, so without further ado, just going to play a piece of the clip. All right, so we have an idea, all right, of what it says. So this is Revelation 19 and verses 1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. This bottomless pit goes into Europe, all right? And we're going to get into that, showing with the World War One on where World War One took place. And the reason why it's called the bottomless pit also is because there are not much, or there is no minerals, all right, over there in that land, as how you would did for oil and gas in different islands like Trinidad and different parts of the world like Dubai, you know. All right, so we're gonna go into it here.
1914. The great powers of Europe are divided into two rival alliances, the Triple Entente. France, Britain, and Russia, united by fear and suspicion of Germany, Europe's new strongest power. And the Triple Alliance, Germany, which fears encirclement by its rivals, Austro-Hungary, clinging on to a fragile empire, and Italy, seeking gains at French.
All right, so the red color looking one put together and the blue color looking one were apart. All right, this year is World War One. All right, in the time of 1914. So we're gonna go into the scriptures, and Lord will be edifying, all right, to the elected nation of Israel. So we're dealing with Europe, the bottomless pit. It says, and he had opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by the reason of the smoke of the pit. Because the war starting to take place, right? As I see it going in here, talking about these fragile empire, which was Germany, the newly come empire which rised up, all right? And they had Australia, Hungary, and Italy as alliances, all right? And France and Britain and Germany were alliance in this war in World War One, right? It says verse 3 says, and they came out of the smoke locusts, all right, upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpion of the earth have power, which a scorpion the sting. All right, so we want to go here. Just want to get something here. Just want to get something here. Right, that was the dog fighters. All right, in World War One, we talks about, or the dog fights. It says, and they came out of the smoke locusts. Them locusts that was speaking about here was these dog fighter planes that they would have in World War One, right? And if you look at where the gun is mounted on top, right, on top of the plane, as you can see here, right, on top of that plane there, where the pilot would have to go up there and, you know, wow, as you can see that native picture there, and nevertheless, right, continuing, so I want to come out as, right, so as you can see, this would have been called the dogfight, right, as a CTA, World War One photo, right, this one is so all that, but this one here will show you, right, dog fights. This would be the locusts, right. Wow, it's really beautiful. Yeah, so this is dog fights that it would have or would have been going on in that time in World War One, right, as you can see here, the chasing down one another, as you ever see, like, nature itself, a dog chasing down a dog, right. So this is how it was, they were chasing down one another, right. So I want to go back here. It says dogfights were aerial battles between enemy fighter planes during World War One. The term dogfight is thought to come from the tactic of positioning one's plane behind the enemy's plane, right? The first dogfight in World War One may have been on August 28, 1914, when Lieutenant Norman Spratt forced down a German plane. The first dogfight in the war may have also been on August 24, 1914, when Siberian Aviator Mordrag Tomic encountered an Austrian-Hungarian plane. Right? Remember we showed a map with who would have been allies with who. All right, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy would have been together. All right, and France and Germany and Britain would have been together. Right, so this would have been speaking about in the bottomless pit, which is Europe. Europe goes to war, 1914. It says the first dogfight select. Early pilots used improvisation methods to interfere with enemy reconnaissance, such as throwing bricks and grenades and rope. Pilots soon began firing handheld guns at enemy planes, such as pistols and carbines. Right? So as you were seeing on top the that plane there, that dogfighter plane in World War One, you would have been seeing the images as before the evolved with had a hand pistol and these different things pelting one another. You see that it had a machine gun mount, all right, to the top of the gun, and you can see like with the pilot hand is where you're going above the fight. Nevertheless, it says, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power, right? The sting. It says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Now, a lot of people would see this and want to know what it's speaking about. What it's speaking about is the lineage, all right, of the elect, all right. Like I already Lord know this one had to come through this one lineage. Don't hurt them. Make sure them men in get touched, all right. As likewise in all the world wars and even the third one to come, the elect not going to be touched, all right. The elect not going to be touched. Let's wait my quick second. But let's deal with this person here. All right, Salakia. Right, and ultimately, even if the elect, would have been there alive, I'm just saying, are the Mosiah, how about Shem Yahushua, know those that are his. If I could, let's bring this precept in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verses 19. It says, nevertheless, the foundation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua standeth sure, having this seed, the Lord knoweth them that are his. Right? The Lord knoweth them that are his. So nevertheless, the Lord ain't go, leave his servants, all right, to be destroyed. Nevertheless, it says, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strike a man. And that 5 months would have going to the 5 years, all right, which it would have been fought. I want to say torment them, right, and not kill them. They would have been wounded, because the verse in verse 6 it says, "And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them." Because in that time it wouldn't really have painkillers, all right, to see. So men would have had a better pain. Planes might have been crashing out of the sky, would have been shot down. All these different things would have been happening, right? So that is a torment within itself, you know. That is a torment within itself. If I could just get this here, let's build my second. I want to get that in I'm here we see in the GNT translation. Book of Revelation, chapter 9, verses 5 and 6. It says, the locusts were not allowed to kill those people, but only to torture them for 5 months. The pain caused by the torture is like the pain caused by a scorpion sting. During those 5 months, they will seek death but will not find it. They will want to die, but death will flee from them. All right, basically saying exactly what the KJV is saying. We're gonna go to the blue letter and go to the NLT. Now, that 5 months would have been from 1914 to 1919, right? That 5 months. So there's the NLT. Go to the book of Revelation, chapter 9, and verses 5. It says, they were told not to kill them, but to torture them for 5 months with pain like the pain of scorpion sting. In those days, people will seek death, but will not find it. They will long to die. Right? They will long to die. They will long to die, but death will flee from them. Right? So that was in that time where, they would have been shot, and injured. And because I had no painkillers and these different things, they would have ultimately really want to die. Because if it is you get shot and you don't have painkillers and you are able to, soothe that pain, you're rather to die. I mean, let's be real. And nevertheless, it says, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horse prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowned like gold, right? Crowned like gold, and their faces was the face of men. So it started to describe the locusts, all right? The crown of gold, all right, which would have been like the helmet there, right? Because you can see the man helmet with the little gold riding, and like the spirit, this is one ultimately clicked on, but nevertheless, right? And the shape of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, right? When horses prepare unto battle, they'll have on the little armor plates and whatnot, and and there's them here right now. These planes that you're seeing here, right? And their faces was the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions, right? Some of the fighters used to have something flying out to the back, right? I don't know if this one might have it. They have one little scarf thing and it flying behind them, right? And that bullets, all right, so like that teeth of lions would have go into the bullets, right? Which would have been doing injuries that would have caused that great pain that they would have been going through, that men would have desired to die. All right, they would have desired to die because they wasn't able to, bear that pain, right? They wasn't able to bear that pain. So I was trying to see if I get an image, but nevertheless, it says, and they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, And the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And if you hear how these dog fighter aircrafts, right, would have been sung in that time, because the muffler system wasn't introduced. So if you ever hear a vehicle, right, without a muffler compared to when it have a muffler, you would have heard how it would have sound. All right, it would have sound. If I could just get this video here to play. I'm gonna see to get a quick video. I'm trying to get a video to play. Let's wait more seconds.
In 1914, a new kind of hero was born. The fighter ace. These men took to the air in flimsy, primitive aircraft and fought to the death. Today I'm going to find out what it's like to be in the middle of a World War I dogfight. I'm flying with the Great War Display Team in a replica of the British BE-2.
So if you listen carefully, right, where it says, and the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle, not having any exhaust system. Listen to how it's sounding. Listen to how it's sounding in the video.
This is a reconnaissance aircraft, so I'm in the observer's seat at the front.
Here we are, labouring into the air. I think it's my heavy weight that's forcing the plane to work so hard. You really are exposed up here. You're right in amongst the elements. You know you're flying.
The BE-2 was famed for its stability in flight. Perfect as an observation platform, but hopeless at fighting. Planes like this would usually be accompanied by a more nimble fighter. My escort is this Sopwith triplane.
So here, he just basically going into the different planes it would have, during the World War One. All right, war from 1914 to 1919, and I play this video so that they would have hear how the engine of these dogfighter planes, all right, would have been sung. As the scripture said, it says, and they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. When you look at the dogfighter planes and them, right, if I go back to images and you look at them, right, breastplates are iron, right, and you look at them and how they would have looked, some of them, right, like these here. This was like a warlike one, kind of playing a little, kind of giving a little trouble. Like if you look at this one here and you look at the make, the man held the face, right, and you look at the make of it, breastplate of iron, you look at the outer part of the plane, right, it says, and they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were strings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And them tails, was the guns, right? The guns, like you see how the gun mount on top of the and the scorpion go high tail coming from the back of your body and it get down. You understand? You see how it mount to the top there? And the bullets was the teeth of lions. You understand? It says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, had his name Apollyon. And that king, right, who was ruling over them in that time was this guy here. Um, oh shoot.
Side.
So like yeah, this was the king that was ruling over them in that time in World War One, right? Wilhelm the second, former German Empire, right? It says Wilhelm was the last German Empire, the king of the Persia from 1888 until his abduction in 1918, which marked the end of the German Empire as well as the Hohenzollern dynasty 300-year rule of Prussia. Right, so let's just put in World War One. It says Kaiser, which Kaiser I believe goes back to Caesar, right, which means king, right? It says Kaiser Wilhelm II was the German Empire during World War One. His policies contributed to the start of the war, and he was forced to abdicate in 1988. It says William II, 1954 to 1941, the German Kaiser Empire, the king of the Prussia from 1888 to 1918, was one of the most recognized public figures of World War One. He gained a reputation as a swaggering militarist through his speech and ill-advised newspaper interviews. Right? Let's just see what did Kaiser do in World War One. It says during the war, although normally Supreme Commander William did not attempt to resist his generals when they kept its conduct in their own hands, he encouraged instead of challenging the genocides war aims of the generals and of many politicals that ruled out of all change of a compromise peace. Right? So what was he known for? Right? A member of the House of Hohenzollern, he was the first head of state of a united German. And going back to who the World War was among, Germany, Australia, Italy were together, and France, Russia, and Britain were the others. So when the scripture says in verse 11, it says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew. So I just want to get this here. All right, I will have to go to my sword. Revelation 9, verse 11. Alright, so let's touch on the word king also. It says leader of the people, prince, commander, lord of the land, king. And he was the king. So like he was the king, and he was the ruler of the Senate, as we just read earlier, or the Commonwealth. Right? Right, in the Hebrew, in Chaldean. Right, Chaldean. I'll go to the Strong's definition. But the Chaldean, which at the time of Yahushua and the apostles had long, right, in Palestine. So Chaldean, right, that Edomite. Let's just see what it says in the Greek. Abaddon, destruction, ruin, destruction, the place of destruction, the name of the angel, prince of the infernal regions, the minister of death, the author of havoc on the earth. the author of havoc on the earth. And hey, they fulfilling a beautiful role, because when you go to the book of Revelation, chapter 6, you know, he's also part of the red horse, because it says, and power was given to him that sat there to take peace from the earth, right? And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Revelation 6 and 4, right? So when you go into the word Abaddon, is destruction, right? Destruction, and that is what they set out to do. They were created, all right, for that purpose, to bring havoc upon the face of the earth. That is the purpose of Esau. The Lord said that He created even the wicked for the day of destruction. But that day is the day of the return of the Lord. They're ultimately going to be destroyed after they serve the 1,000 years of captivity. So I just wanted to touch on that word, right? Destruction. So Revelation chapter 9 and verses verses 11, it says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, right? Kaiser Wilhelm, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon, right? So let's get the word Apollyon. Abaddon is destruction, and in the Greek tongue, destroyer, the angel of the bottomless, the angel of the bottomless pit, the destroyer. And that bottomless pit was in Europe, or is in Europe, right? The plagues of the locusts, Europe, right? This is where World War One took place. It says, and they had a king over them, Revelation 9:11, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, Salaka, they said Chaldean, Salakia, forgive me, right? Is destruction, and Abaddon is destruction, and Apollyon is destroyer. But in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon. It says, one war is past, and behold, there come 2 wars more after. So this was World War One being accomplished, all right, via prophecy, on the way that the scripture said that it would have take place, all right. And this is the guy here, Wilhelm Kaiser, which I believe Kaiser goes into Caesar, if I'm not mistaken. If I could just fact check this here real quick. Empire, especially the ruler of Germany, right? The meaning of Kaiser is empire, which Emperor Salakia is specifically the ruler of Germany, right? So emperor could also go back to Caesar, which means king, because Caesar means king. That's what the word Caesar mean, right? So World War One have come to an end. Right, World War One, the first World War was also known as the Great War, as a global conflict between 2 colonizations, the Allies and the Central Powers. Right, so I'm just gonna read all this here. I'm gonna close off the lesson. So it says World War One, or the First World War, the 20th of July 1914, 11th of November 1918, also known as the Great War, was a global conflict between 2 colonizations, the Allies or entire and Central Powers. Fighting took place mainly in Europe and the Middle East, as well as in parts of Africa and the Asia Pacific. And Europe was characterized by the trench warfare, the widespread use of artillery, machine guns, and chemical weapons, gas, and the introduction of tanks and aircrafts. World War One was one of the deadliest conflicts in history, resulting in an estimate of 10 million military dead and more than 20 million wounded. And that will add to the scripture, beautifully, where it says what? Men seek death, but flee, they were more wounded than dead. It says plus some 10 million civilian dead from causing, including genocide. The movement of large numbers of people was a major factor in deadly Spanish flu pandemic. Right? That was World War One. Right? So hopefully this lesson was edifying to the elected nation of Israel. I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the lesser great bestowed who rule well. Peace, blessings to the saints of Achaim, mainly the elect who push in the truth on the four corners of the earth. Shalom.